When I was in foster care, the black families treated me worse than the white families every single time. To a black family, I was promiscuous, I was gonna run away, I was smart, I had an attitude problem, I was gonna steal, etc., etc. To the white family, I was just black. Anything they thought about me was no more than the fact that it was because I was simply black. But in the black families, when I tell you, I got treated like an outsider, like a child under the steps. I remember specifically, I was never allowed to eat at the dinner table with the family. I had to sit separately at a separate island. And they told me the reason why is the kids sat over there, but her children were always allowed to sit at the dinner table. When I tell you, being in foster care or in a group home, you will get treated 10 times worse by your own kin than you will by any other race.
I'm a black person looking at you. There's something about you that literally just annoys me. I don't know if it's the tattoos on your face or the piercing on your nose. I don't know if maybe it's the way that you speak about your own people, because damn right I can see that you have an attitude problem. And I'm not the one to call out people about their own attitude, mainly because I have my own. But if you have an attitude and you are defending another race, I would never have mercy for you. Never. Because how do you look at me in the face and tell me that people who are capable of hanging you less than 50 years ago are the same people who are much better at treating you better, like a decent human? You get what you look for in this life. You mean to tell me all the black people surrounding you are treating you good? Meanwhile, you live in a country where that same white person can stop you and unalive you, mainly because you're reaching out for a driver's license in your car. You live in a country where you can pay high interest rate mainly based on just looking at you. You live in a country that you can just be unalived by being in a church by a white man who's going through a rampage. That's the country you live in. You live in a country that literally seeks ways to oppress you. You're most likely to go missing and no one would give a damn about you. Even the news reporters that are looking the different race will be the first one to report about your kind of people. Like, looking at you, there's something about anyone that defends white people in any kind of sort. I don't care. Like, why should you give them the applause? Do they give us applause when we are decent people working nice jobs, doing well for? Do they give us applause? There are Serena Williams, there are Beyonce's, there are black people who are going out of their way to becoming decent people. Do they get applause for that? Why must I applaud one single person for being a decent human being, for being a decent person? You should be. You should be. Why should I congratulate you for that? Why should I congratulate you? Why should I, as a black woman, knowing the kind of hardship that I go through in your kind of people, the least you can be is be a decent human being? That's the kind of person I expect you to be. And then I'm not going to give you flowers for that. Now, if you throw your own, though I know that we have prejudice among each other and it's expected, and you know why that is so. You know why. You know. Because the same people who overpraise white people for unnecessary matters are the same ones to keep quiet when they go through the most with white people. Or when black people go through the most, because they treated you like that because you deserved it. You deserve to be treated like that. I would have treated you. In fact, you'd sit outside and not even eat with my cats. I wouldn't put you. You'd eat outside and sleep outside. I wouldn't want to put you in my house. Looking at you, there's something about you that literally just annoys me to the piss off. You literally just annoy me. Because how do you talk about your own people like that? Black, white people, regardless of if their own people are pew-pewing other people, you'd never hear them talk trash. But you must talk trash? You want to uplift other races. We know about other black people who are just simply prejudiced and simply ignorant and simply the worst kind of people to ever exist. We know about those kind of people. But why should you be the one to point them out? White people are pointing out, you too are pointing them out. Why don't you have the eye detector to point out white people who do things of sort? Even worse, You keep quiet. You're more even likely to even date a white man who has a fetish about you. So please don't come here and annoy me any further, because like I said, you have a personality problem, and if you overpraise people who are more likely to hang you from a tree and feed you to crocodiles and have a picnic while you're being hanged and bring about their own kids, the same people who do not want to teach critical race theory, whatever that is, are the same people you are defending. The same people who are most likely to get black children then mistreat them. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Mistreat them, and then they're most likely to be sold on the black market. The same people you are defending? Other races. What do you mean other races? The minute it gets out of black people and you go to other races, it doesn't get better. You have to deal with the racist grandparents. Number one, you have to deal with racist fetish people that they have in their families, their own dilemma of family issues that they deal with. And you want to tell me that those were people you feel safe with? I don't feel safe because of the color of the skin. I feel safe because of the person you are. You are. And I'm not going to praise you for being a decent human being. I've seen decent white people, but I'm not going to praise you for that. I'm not going to make that, oh my God, I've seen nice people. So what? So what? You must be. You must be a decent human being. You must be a good human being. You must be. So why must I praise you for that? You're not getting any praises from me. I'm sorry. I have much better things to do. Because in praising one person, there are 10 more people. I think you're watching too many movies where there's a good white person in the end. In all those slavery things, despite the fact that the whole community is kak. And you want to look at that white person who's good. He's good because other people get to make him look good. Have you thought about that? Maybe you're just nice, but I wouldn't know, would I? So this is why I'm worried about people like you who make videos like this. Because I remember, it reminds me of a white guy who says, why are the white people adopting black kids? You're not forced. No one forces you to adopt black kids. You're not forced to adopt any black child. You adopt black kids because you see them as properties. You see them as things that you can entertain yourself with. You don't see them as people. And you also raise them clueless in the world about the type of skin that that type of people go through. You raise them to have an identity crisis because they're going to come to you and complain about certain things and you dismiss them because it gets to make you feel better about yourself, better about yourself, better about yourself. Like, anyways, I'm done. It's enough ranting now.
Hatred for black people is not an actual hatred for black people. What did black people do to be hated by the entire world? That's why I advocate on my page, you are wasting your energy trying to change the perception of black people. What did you do to these people in the first place? Whose people did we genocide? Whose country did we colonize? Whose nation did we burn down? The hatred for black people, internally and externally, comes from a binary understanding of humanity. And you want to know how I know this is true? Because most people who hate black people don't even know any black people. It's not that they hate black people, it's that they love white people and whiteness. And because black people and white people are opposites, the global admiration and worship that whiteness receives, by contraindication, what do you think is implied onto black people? Black people. Please tell me, how could anybody be the opposite of anybody else? What this country will tell you is that because this person likes apples and this person likes bananas, these two people exist as opposites. And that single rhetoric is what is the fuel for all of our conflict and our dehumanization. And it's the third video I talked about this. Look closely, you will see it everywhere around you. Good, bad, anti, pro, Republican, Democrat, black, white, man, woman, The binaries that are implied onto the consciousness of American people do not leave room for critical thinking or nuance. They play on your emotions and get you to quickly identify with an ally or enemy. Now, going back to the point of my video, that alone is the fuel for the anti-blackness that we see across the world. As long as whiteness as a concept exists, as long as whiteness is aligned with power, as long as whiteness is aligned with beauty, as long as whiteness is aligned with comfort, as long as we think African people are black before they are African, as long as we think Haitian people are black before they are African, as long as we think American African people are black before they are African, everything implied onto whiteness, you will receive the opposite of. As a human being, as a breathing, functional, sentient human being, you do not exist as opposites, counterparts, or a contradiction of any other human being, group, or community on this planet. The point is not to remove the beautiful history and culture that has been built upon our circumstances of being black in this world. But we must decentralize these binaries in our abundant human existence because they do not represent us, any of us.